Okay, fine. So let's start today's concept. So today we are going to directly jump into Python. Let's start with uh, Python. Okay. So now I don't know like if anybody of you already have some knowledge about Python, but however, I will consider that you are completely new to Python, and I will start from basics so that everybody can follow. Okay. So now see, as I said yesterday, we have like many different programming language, but Python by far is the most suitable programming language for data science. What is the reason? The reason is, first thing is, it's simple. Okay, the code is extremely simple, as we are going to see practically now. Second thing is minimal code. Okay, very less code. Okay, very less code you need to write. Okay, which we have discussing yesterday. Third thing is like extensive community. Okay, we have extensive community support. Okay, and fourth thing is it has a wide range of applications. Okay, because once you have learned Python, so there are like different applications where you can step into, whether you can come into data science, whether you can go into web development. If you're interested in web development, you can learn something called Django and you can go there, or you can learn something called a Selenium and you can go to testing, or you can go in, you can learn also you can do certain cyber security, or also you can learn few tools like Tinker, etc., and get into UI design, etc., etc. Okay, but let's focus on the data science part. So for data science, as I said, like we already almost have all the required modules and packages written and built. Our goal will be to understand them, import them, and use them. Okay, so those are, we will go through this step by step. Fine, and just to show you an example, for example, if I yeah, if I just search for, okay, most easiest programming language, yeah, as you can see, Python. Okay, so even it from like past few years, right? So Python was always ranking number one as the most easiest and learnable programming language. Fine. So let's see small basics about Python. Okay. So we are going to cover different concepts in Python. We are going to start from like what is a Python and how you can initiate a Python session, what are the data types, control structures, looping, data types, etc. So everything we are going to cover. So it will be like mostly practical sessions, but where and here and there, whenever a small theory is required, we are going to cover that too. Okay, so feel free to stop me and ask if you are having any questions. Okay, so that it will be beneficial to you. So just a small facts about Python. So okay, behind the scenes, so Python is generally yeah, sorry, it was first released in 1991. Okay, and it is named after this is a movie series actually. The founder of Python, his name is something Guido Ware Awesome. Okay, if I pronounce it correctly, yeah, Guido Van Rossum. So this guy, he has created Python. He has wrote all the required code for the Python and released it on 1991, because yeah, he was fond of a particular BBC television comedy series, and that series name is Monty Python Flying Circus. So just he got inspired from that, and he has named this programming language as Python programming language. Okay, just a fun fact. Now coming to this, so because of its, yeah, as I said, because of its ease of learning, readability, libraries, and community, rich community. So obviously, when something is extremely useful and something is extremely easy, okay, easy and useful, this hot combination, so everybody will start using it. So as you can see, it is used everywhere, like Wikipedia, Google, Yahoo, NASA, every way, right from small to big to MNCs, everywhere you can see the Python applications. Okay, So post that, yeah, enough theory, so we'll jump into practical things. So first, like how to install Python. Okay, just if you are not sure like how to install Python, so they're like different IDEs, I would say, where you can practice Python. Okay, first thing is you can use it in some Jupyter Notebook. Okay, Jupyter Notebook, where you are going to install it from Anaconda. Okay, or you can use something called as PyCharm. Okay, there are like many, or you can use something called as Visual Studio, or something called as Spider. Okay, there are different platforms or user interfaces where you can write the Python code, or simply you can use from command prompt, your basic command prompt also you can work. Okay, but I suggest Jupyter Notebook for the freshers, and also at industry level also we write the code and deploy the code from Jupyter Notebook itself. Okay, so but however, if you are interested, you can go for PyCharm also, or any one of these. All of these are equally helpful. But as an entry level, so to understand each line of code, so my personal suggestion would be Jupyter Notebook. Okay, so now, like how to install Jupyter Notebook is extremely simple. Okay, you need to download Anaconda. Okay, so you need to just click on free download Anaconda. Okay, just download this, it gets downloaded, and just you need to do a small setting. Okay, just click next, next, next. Okay, so after that, it will just download the, you'll get the Anaconda uh, navigator. So I've already done that. So if it is possible, you can do now, uh, or like after the class also fine. But please make sure that you download and have Jupyter Notebook up and running by today. Yeah, as yeah, I think it is. Yeah. So once it has downloaded, right? So you will see something like this. Okay, and as you can see, there are like different UIs showing over here. So you can launch Jupyter Notebook from here. Okay, so just you can click the launch button over here, so it will open the Jupyter Notebook. Or as I said, you can use Spider also. Okay, or you can use like PyCharm also. Okay, so like you have like different even Jupyter Lab will also work. Okay, or as I said, simple command prompt will also work for basics of Python. Okay, but I would say as of now, go for this Jupyter Notebook launch. Okay, once you click it, it will open the notebook as we have seen. So I'm just closing this. Okay, so once you click open that, so it will launch the Jupyter Notebook something like this. Okay, so then you can go to any location you want, where you want to create a file. Okay, Python file. For example, I am in downloads. So here I'm going to click new Python 3. Okay, so I have created, okay, a new Jupyter Notebook has created. Okay, so are we good till this point, uh, everyone?
Yeah, yes, Santosh.
Okay,
Yes, Santosh.
okay, fine. Yeah, Siri and Meghana, yeah, did you guys already have installed the Jupyter Notebook? ఆల్రెడీ ఉందా మీకు, లేకుంటే అంటే మీరు ఆల్రెడీ కాలేజ్లో డేటా సైన్స్ కోర్సే కదా, మీరు మీ లోకల్ సిస్టమ్స్లో ఇన్స్టాల్ చేశారా ఆర్ చేయాలా?
చేయాలి.
జూపిటర్ నేను డౌన్లోడ్ చేసి నేను ఆల్రెడీ పైథాన్ ఇంకా కమాండ్ ప్రాంప్ట్ యూజ్ చేస్తాను.
ఓకే, సో జూపిటర్ అయితే ఉంది కదా.
జూపిటర్ లేదు సార్, ఈరోజు డౌన్లోడ్ చేస్తాను.
సారీ, వాయిస్ బ్రేక్ అవుతుంది.
జూపిటర్ లేదు సార్, ఈరోజు డౌన్లోడ్ చేస్తా.
ఓకే ఓకే ఓకే, డౌన్లోడ్ Jupyter. Meghana, what about you?
లేదు సార్, నేను డౌన్లోడ్ చేయాలి ఇవాళ.
Okay, okay. Make sure you download it today. Okay. Fine.
ఓకే.
Fine. So once you come over here, right? So yeah, so this is a new notebook, so that's it. So it's as simple as you are able to see over here. And once if I just write code, for example, if I am saying okay, some x equal to 10, and if I print x, it is understanding. So this is that simple. Okay, you just need to download and you can start using the code. This is, I don't think it's possible in many of the languages where you can directly initialize a variable, okay, and assign a value and print it. Okay, వేరే దాంట్లో ఇంత సింపుల్ గా ఉంటది అని అనుకోవట్లేదు, ఎందుకంటే అట్లీస్ట్ యూ షుడ్ రైట్ ఫ్యూ లైన్స్ ఆఫ్ కోడ్. ఈవెన్ ఇఫ్ యూ టేక్ ద parallel Java also, I don't think you can directly do this one. Okay, so you need to initialize, you need to actually prepare the background before you are using the notebook. Okay, so this is one of the advantage of Python. So after that, once the installation is once we are good with the installation, right, so yeah, as you can see, you can launch it, several options how to run the Python. Okay, so post that you can launch this notebook, and దీంట్లో I will just give you like 1 minute of what all functions you have. Okay, so this one is called as a cell. If you want to create a new cell, just click this place button, so it will create new cell. If you want to delete a cell, click this scissor button, cut. Okay, it will delete that particular cell. And జస్ట్ టు నో వాట్ ఈస్ యువర్ లొకేషన్, అంటే ఇప్పుడు ఈ నోట్బుక్ అనేది ఎక్కడ ఉంది అనేది మీకు తెలియాలంటే ఇంపోర్ట్, ఓకే, ఇంపోర్ట్ ఓఎస్ అండ్ ఓఎస్ డాట్ గెట్. సో ఓఎస్ ఈజ్ ఆపరేటింగ్ సిస్టమ్, యూ నీడ్ టు ఇంపోర్ట్ చేసి ఓఎస్ డాట్ గెట్ కరెంట్ వర్కింగ్ డైరెక్టరీ. Okay, once you do that, it will tell you where this notebook is located. Okay, because you can create the notebook at any place. Okay, for example, I'm going here. Okay, for example, this is the actual Jupyter Notebook. Okay, I can go to something called as uh, okay, so I will go here Cristiano Ronaldo. Okay, and I can create a new notebook here also. Okay, in any location you can just change your path. Okay, change your path and create the location. Okay, but sometimes if you want to know where my notebook is located, right, so then you can use the simple command import os dot get cwt. So this will tell you where your notebook is located. So currently I am located in downloads. Okay, so you can see this particular notebook in downloads, and after that you can save this by save and checkpoint, but automatically for every 120 seconds I think the code gets automatically saves. And to run the command, right, to run a particular command, you can click shift along with enter. Shift enter if you do, okay, that's a shortcut, it runs the command. But if you want to run manually, click this run code. Okay, and sometimes if you want to mention what you are doing, so usually every cell you create, that will be considered as code. As you can see this, right, code, so it will allow you to write something, code something. Okay, but just in case if you want to create some headers, or if you write some matter so that the third person can understand what we're doing, you can click this markdown. Okay, let's say Meet AI. Okay, so now if I clicked shift enter, it did not give me an error because I selected that is not a code, that is markdown. But using code, if I just do meet AI and do this, it is going to give me error because when you give code, you should write code, but it system is not understanding what is meet AI. Okay, so like that. So suppose if I want to do heading, so it will automatically consider it as heading. Okay, so like that you can create some standards. Okay, this is for the code. And after that, so these are like general commands. I won't go into all of this, but yeah, so one important thing is uh, see, there is something called as toggle line numbers. Okay, so so you can, I suggest you to use that because it will give you numbers, because sometimes in upcoming classes, so you might write like long codes. Okay, let's say you are having like 10 lines of code. So to know at which a particular line it is causing error, you need to know the line number. So for that, you go to view and toggle line number. Okay, that will give you it will create the line numbers for each and every uh, line of code. After that, sometimes if at all each notebook is called a kernel. Okay, as you can see, kernel. Okay, and sometimes if at all your code is taking too long, or if you want to interrupt the code, so just go over here and interrupt the code. Okay, it will stop the execution. And you have different options. You have restart, it will just restart and clear output, so it will delete all the outputs created and it will restart again. And restart and run all. If you just want to run all like 100 lines of cells, you don't need to do shift enter for each cell. Okay, so if you are sure you want to run all of the lines, you just come here, restart and run all. It will run all the lines by itself. Okay, so yeah, these are like normal Excel commands. I think you must be familiar, like that copy paste and toggle. Yeah, so you have a make a copy over here. So this is sometimes useful from practical I would say preview. This is useful because let's say you have written a long code. Okay, and you just want to replicate that. Okay, and make few changes, but most of the code is exactly same, just here and there there are few slight changes. So that time you can just make a copy. Okay, so another way, the lengthy one could be download it, rename it, upload it, and make changes. Okay, that is usual way which we might think of. But just with one single line of command, so you can just click a copy, so it will just make a copy of this, a duplicate copy, I can say. Okay, and if you want to download this, see, you can download in all these ways, but the most famous and that are required are, there are two file extensions you will be seeing. One is notebook will be .ipynb. Okay, ipynb. Second thing is python is .py. Okay, the difference here is, when the notebook, if you download it as a notebook itself, it is going to create .ipynb. That means it's a notebook. But if it is a Python file, that means a simple file, just like how you are having a text file, right? So you're having some text file, right? So if I save this, it will save in .txt format, right? But while saving, okay, if I say me.py, so that will create a Python file. So that one way to do that is, you can download this as .py file. Okay, so it will be the Python file. So usually what happens, while writing, we will write in each cell. Okay, let's say you are while writing, how you will write. So you will write each line of code, and you will make some mistakes, then we'll try to rectify that. Okay, and we'll write only, we want to run only these three cells, you will understand this, then you will write one more three cells. Like that, let's say you have written 100 lines of code. Okay, while developing. Okay, while writing, you will do that. But once, if you want to use this, okay, you need to deploy this, right? Okay, you need to deploy it. సో రాస్తున్నప్పుడు మనము ఈచ్ లైన్ రాసుకుంటూ వెళ్తాము, చెక్ చేస్తాము. బట్ వన్స్ ఒకసారి 100 లైన్స్ పర్ఫెక్ట్ గా రన్ అవుతున్నాయి అని తెలిసిన తర్వాత, వి వాంట్ టు రన్ ఆల్ అట్ ఏ టైం, ఒకటేసారి రన్ చేస్తాం కదా. అప్పుడు ఏం చేస్తామంటే, వి విల్ కన్వర్ట్ దిస్ ఇంటూ .py ఫైల్. డాట్ పీవై ఫైల్. అది సింపుల్ మనకి టెక్స్ట్ ఫైల్ లానే ఉంటుంది. ఎవ్రీథింగ్ ఇట్స్ ఎ టెక్స్ట్ ఫైల్, బట్ ద ఓన్లీ వీఆర్ సేవింగ్ ఇట్ ఇన్ ద .py ఫైల్ ఎక్స్టెన్షన్ తో సేవ్ చేస్తాం. సో దాంట్లో యూ విల్ హ్యావ్ ఆల్ దీస్ 100 lines at one place. Okay, దాని తర్వాత if you just run this command, okay, it will run everything. It will run everything. So while developing, we will use .ipynb, the notebook. Once developing is done, while deploying, you are going to share or deploy a .py file. Okay, so this is a minor change, I would say. Now coming to the concepts, as you can see, so I'll just give you an overview like what all concepts we are going to cover, and then we will see some practical code. Okay, so as you can see, in Python, right, so everything is an object. Okay, so we will understand this sentence more in depth in our upcoming classes, but as of now, just understand that in Python everything is considered as an object. But what is object, everything we will see, and each object has methods associated with it. Okay, and we are going to see that. But mainly your what happens over here is mainly in Python. So you have something called as keywords, okay, variables and object. Okay, just to give a basic, so completely if I start from basic, so see, when I said like x equal to 10, okay, so when I said x equal to 10, and if I print x, now it is giving you 10. So here x equal to 10, x is variable. Okay, x is variable and 10 is value. 10 is value you are assigning to this variable. Perfect. And what does that mean? Internally in the memory location, it will assign a particular memory location the name of x with the name x, and it will put the value of 10 over here. Clear? Same till this point, so it will be same with every other programming language. Post that in Python you have, yeah, first let me give a glance through. We'll show you like what all things we are going to cover, then we'll come back to basics. So as you can see, yeah, so we are going to cover strings. Okay, and we are going to cover string indexing, we are going to cover booleans, different data types we are going to cover, lists we are going to cover, tuples we are going to cover. Okay, data types, sets, dictionaries. Okay, so these things we are going to cover in future classes, but let's see some of the basics. So as you can see the Python, okay, the theory I think we are good to understand, so easy to learn, easy to read, easy to maintain. So I think we are good with these concepts, I think. Okay, so installation also I think we are good, but if you are having any issues, so you can ping me. uh, so we are going to use Jupyter Notebook, so for all the practical purposes, for Python, um, for all the other tools till the end of machine learning, we are going to use the Jupyter Notebook, which is I would say very easy to start with. Okay, fine. So after that, as I have said that we had a set of if I can show you, yeah, so we have a set of reserved words in Python. Okay, so if I show you Python keywords list, so if I can show you, so there is a keyword.kw list. Okay, so for example, if you see, fine. So now as you can see, I have mentioned that you are going to have a variable, right? So this variable you can give any number. Okay, any number you can give, and there are few rules which I will be mentioning you how you can define a variable. But every programming language will have some keywords or reserved words, okay, which they're already used in the programming development stage, and you cannot again use them for any other purpose. Okay, so these are the reserved words, and by as the name suggests, these are reserved for development and the program functioning purpose, and you cannot use them again. Okay, for example, as you can see, if you observe this, so before starting, right, I would like to mention like one funny thing about Python, because even when I was also learning, one problem with Python is it is very simple, that people take it for granted, and people will commit simple mistakes. Okay, because when something is very easy, we will think, hey, this it's very easy, man, I can do this. Then you might not do big mistakes, but the problem is you might do very small mistakes. So this has happened with me, because once you learn Python, you will understand the code, everything goes fine, and then you will take it for granted, hey, I know this, I know that, right? So just I am giving you caution that you don't do that, because even the Python is simple, so there are like very small things you need to understand, right? And which will else it will cause some amount of pain. Okay, for example, as you can see here, so all these are keywords. As I said, you cannot use them for any variable creation or any other part of code. Here if you see, every except false, none, and true, all are in small letters. Okay, only the false, none, and true are in camel case. Okay, that means the first letter is caps and other are small letters. Okay, so you need to remember that. So except true, false, and none, so every other, because as I said, if you see false, you cannot use it for any variable creation. Okay, but if I tell you that false equal to 10, and if I print false, I'm getting 10, right? So you can question me like why it is allowing me to use false, even though when false is one of the keyword. That is because in Python is case sensitive. Okay, Python is case sensitive. So what does this mean is, okay, capital letters are not equal to small letters. Okay, so it will treat a and a as different objects altogether. So that's the reason false and false are two different things. And also you will have color coding in Python, and as you can see, the import word is automatically converted into green color. Okay, because that's the instruction Python interpreter is taking in the background. And also, as you can see, and false, okay, these are automatically converted into green color, because and is a keyword, false is a keyword. Okay, so this gets already, but FALSC, the small f is not getting converted, because this is not a keyword, but capital F is obviously a keyword. So that's why it will not allow it. It will suggesting by color also, and also it will also not allow you to create a variable using that. For example, if I say false equal to 10, you cannot assign to false. Okay, so that is okay, so that is one of the uh, example I would like to share. So these are the keywords, and I think you will have I think around 31 or 32 keywords. Yeah, 35. Okay, so overall there are like 35 keywords you have, which you cannot use for another purpose. So post that, you were, as I said, like Python is a case sensitive. That means it will uh, small caps and small letters and capital letters are completely different. Okay, and I would say a equal to 10, and if I say, yeah, so in Python there is something called as indentation. Okay, so indentation is one of the important thing in Python. That means everything need to be structured and ordered. Okay, for example, if you see a equal to 10, that's perfectly fine. What I'm doing, I'm just creating a memory location called a, and I am putting 10 into it. That's fine, no issues. Next, I'm saying b equal to 5. That means what, I'm creating new memory location called as b, I'm putting 5 over there. That is also completely fine. There is no syntax error. Syntax means what, code. As per code, both are perfect, there is no issues with that. But still, when I try to run this, okay, when I run this, it's not executing, because here it is saying indentation error. Okay, so earlier it said it's a syntax error, because the code itself is having some issue. Okay, what is the issue? The false is the issue, because false is a keyword. You cannot use that as a variable. So that's why it's a syntax error. But now, as you can see here, the code is perfectly fine, but it's a indentation issue. That means what is indentation? Indentation is a spaces, unnecessary spaces before the line. Okay, everything should start from the first line that is available over there. You cannot give like unnecessary spaces over here. Okay, so as you can see, A started from here and B started from here. So Python will not accept these unrequired spaces. So that's the reason it is giving you an error called as indentation error. Okay. So now, yeah, but if you want to give a space, you need to give it for everybody. Okay, every line of code. So here I'm giving it for A also, and also I'm giving it for B also. So in that case, it works fine, but I don't suggest, and this is not a proper way of code. And there is a word called as Pythonic. Okay, so if your code is very well written, so it says that it is more Pythonic. So we always try to write code as Pythonic as possible. Okay, so but indentation is a important thing. People usually might not take it seriously, but sometimes the code might be perfectly fine, but it will constantly fill because of indentation. So make sure that you're not giving any unnecessary spaces over here. Okay, so after that you have something called as comments. Okay, so in Python, so you can comment a line. There are like different lines of comments. Okay, for example, this is the first class. Okay, so this is a line. So if I just want to comment this, okay, you can just do control and front slash. Okay, control plus front slash will comment the line. Okay, so usually writing comments is extremely recommended, because our code should always be understood by the third person. Okay, because once we write, we need to share this with someone. So it is always recommended to write comments like what does that piece of code is referring to, right? So this is one simple line, a way how you can just comment a particular one line. But for example, if you're having multiple lines, okay, so this is first line. Okay, second line. So if you have something like this, okay, fine. So I was saying regarding the comments, right? So regarding comments, if you want to comment like multiple lines of code, okay, so you need to use different ways. So first thing is you can use single quotes, or you can also comment using like multiple lines of code. But mainly the recommended way is, for example, if you're having lines written in multiple lines, okay, this is first line, this is second line, and this is third line. Okay, so if you want to cover everything as comments, so you need to put three dots in front of this and three dots at the end of this, the whole paragraph. Okay, then that will be considered as a the comments which you can see. But I would like to mention one point over here. So if you see, when I'm writing, the Python will expect, for example, if I start with a single quote, okay, I am printing X. Okay, observe this carefully. Oh, sorry. Okay, so when I'm printing, when start with a single quote and I'm ending with a single quote, okay, it is hello. But when I start with a double quote, okay, and when I end with a single quote, it will give you an error. Okay, but for example, if you see, I'm starting with a single quote, okay, and somewhere in the middle I am writing a double quote, okay, and again I'm ending with a single quote. Fine. So it is going to, how it understands is, first it will check this single quote, okay, till it encounters the another single quote, okay, it will consider everything as a that particular value, okay. The moment it encounters a single quote, okay, the moment it encounters single quote, it will stop over there. It will think, okay, that is the end of that particular string, okay. For example, if you see, I'm starting with single quote, I'm saying hello, okay, and after that I have given a single quote, okay, but if I start to write hello, and if I write hi, and if I give single quote, so if you think I'm starting with single quote and I'm ending with single quote, okay, and this should work fine, but it will give you error, okay, because the you have started with a single quote, after that it has seen HELLO. The moment it has seen the another single quote, it will consider this is the end of the string, okay, one string has ended. Now you are starting HAI as a new part which is having no start, you are directly ending it, okay. Before this single quote, this particular pair of single quote is only for hello, okay. After the end of this single quote, okay, so you have already ended the string and you are again writing starting something without having any open quotes, okay, that will be considered as an error, okay. So now this can be written using any different types of quotes. For example, I can write the same thing in double quotes. I will write hello, how are you, in completely double quotes. If you are putting everything in same type of quotes, starting with double quotes, ending with double quotes, that's fine, okay. Or start with single quote, end with single quote, that is also fine. But if you start with double quote, and if at all I write a single quote in middle of it, okay, and if I end with double quote, you see what happens. It is printing even this quote also, because when it has started with double quotes, it will think I have started with double quotes, I should end with double quotes. That means whenever it sees double quotes, it will stop there. Till that time it will consider everything is string. So it has started with double quote, then it has seen HELLO, HOW, it has seen single quote. But single quote it will also consider as a string. It is a part of this value, because it did not start with single quote. It has started with double quotes, right? So as long as it encounters double quotes, it will keep on taking the value. So HELLO, how, apostrophe, quote, are you. The moment it sees the double quotes, it will stop there. So that means that this is the end of the string. That's the reason, as you can see, it is printing the quote also. You can do same thing using single quote also. So you can start with a single quote, okay. But now if I do, can you tell me whether it is going to give me error or not?
Errors.
Right, so it's going to give me error. Now
Yes, error.
why?
It
Because
would be error.
I'm starting with single quote and I am ending
No,
with single quote. I am not using any other, I am not using any other single quote in middle. So if I run
like
this, it will not give error. Okay. The simple point is whatever you're starting with, end with that. Okay. It should again come at the end. You should not use that anywhere in between. Okay. You're starting with single quote. That say the single quote should again come at only at the end. You cannot use it anywhere in middle. Okay. If you use it in middle, that means you are ending it over here. Okay. The, you, I think you can, yeah. But if you want to start it again, okay, you need to again start a new quote. Okay, for example, see, you have started over here, okay, you have started with a single quote. After hello, if you put a single quote, that means what, you are telling, okay, it will take character by character, right? How the Python will understand internally for you. If you are seeing it is hello, how are you, but Python will take it character by character. First it will understand this, each letter by letter it will understand. So the moment it has seen started with quote and ended with quote, it will think, okay, my string has completed, done. After that it is seeing h, it will, but it will not understand what is h, because everything should be in quotes, okay, to understand. Because if I didn't mention, so everything should be in quotes. If I just say meat, it will not understand what is meat. But if you put it in quotes, that means that is a string. Okay, that is a string. Then it will understand, okay, he's trying to okay, do something with this string. But if you want, but variables are different, so you can create a variable and assign some value. Okay, you can create a variable and assign some value. But if you just want to use a word as it is, so that needs to be a string. Okay, so for example, any word that is enclosed between two quotes, like two quotes, like single quotes, double quotes, any quotes, that will be a string. So now, as you can see here, so when it is started with single quote, always just make sure simply that it should always end with the same type of quote. Starting with double quotes, end with double quotes. Starting with single quote, end with double quote. That's all. Okay, so I think we are good with this. And after that I would like to mention, like, one concept, that is, we are having, for example, let's see, um, uh, wait, one second, how can I hide this? Mm. Okay, fine. So we are having, I will give you a, yeah, suppose that, so we are going to extensively study about, mainly with this just these are just basics, just an overview for the Python, so how it looks like. But we are going to study mainly like how you can input input some value to Python and access that. Okay, input command. And secondly, the important point in data, in any programming language, would be the data types. Okay, so we are going, the Python actually has like 14 data types altogether. Okay, and these are actually the heart of Python, I would say. So if you're good with all these data types, you are already good with most of the Python. So just to name few data types, you have string. Okay, then you have int. Okay, then you have list. Okay, then you have tuple. Okay, etc, like that. You will have 14. So I will give you a brief about all these 14, and we will see the each individual data type in depth and their functions. Okay, then after that we are going to see something called as typecasting. Okay, then after that we are going to see something, a important property. Okay, it is called immutability in Python. So this is a very special feature of Python, so which is actually helpful for efficient management of its space. So internally, every variable you create, it will occupy some space, right? So we have something called as Python garbage collector. Okay, Python garbage collector. So where it continuously works in the background, sees if at all there is no variable that is being used by anybody, and it will start deleting those, so that the space is effectively managed. Okay, so we have a concept related to that called as immutability, so which is a very interesting concept and specific to Python concept, which we are going to see in next class. Okay, and then we have something called as escape characters. Okay, escape characters is a small concept which we are going to discuss. Okay, post that we are going to see flow control. Okay, we are going to see flow control, where we are going to study about if else while conditions. Okay, so after that we are going to study functions, and there you have like recursive functions, then you have lambda functions. Okay, and then you have some very useful functions called as map, reduce, filter functions. Okay, then we are going to study something called as modules. Okay, and then we will see some pattern programming. Okay, how to write some patterns, etc. And then we are going to study oops concepts. Okay, and then we are also going to see exception handling, and then we are going to see file handling. Okay, and there is some new special concept called as iterator and generator concept specific to Python. Okay, so we are going to see. So these are the more or less concepts I would like to show you, which we are going to cover in upcoming classes. Okay, so I'll try to keep the class like as practical as possible. Okay, a very small amount of theory might be involved here and there, but mostly I'll give you a walkthrough of the Jupyter code for majority of the time. Okay, so I think that's all for today, but sorry for the power interruption. So I can't do anything for that. Fine. I don't want to extend post 7:30 because like we have like Sirisha and Meghana who again they need to get ready and for the college time. Okay, fine. So one suggestion is try to have Jupyter Notebook installed up and running by today. Okay, so you need to do it via Anaconda and make sure you are able to write some code in Jupyter Notebook. Okay, so once you have that, I think it will be very easy for you guys also to follow and practice after the class whatever we are discussing in the class. Okay, so I would say that's all for today. Any questions? Any questions?
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
Mhm. Okay, then let's meet tomorrow, everybody. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you, Santosh. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.